Hello and welcome to Ears for Everything, the podcast where we talk about just about everything. We'll hit the subjects such as current news stories, anything and everything you want to hear about. Today I'm joined with my co-host Liam.
It's your fat boy, L. James D, in the podcast.
And my homeboy from my hometown, Riley. Yeah, didn't forget your name.
Yeah, what's going on? Thanks for forgetting my name, but that's alright.
Oh, I've just had Brad on my mind, just every
Hey,
day.
guess what? You got no complaints. We added you in like last 5 minutes, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, the same people I mentioned last podcast ditched us again. Don't know. It's just
Fuck them, we don't need them.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are these people?
That would be Tabby and Andrew. Andrew is currently having family issues, so I didn't want him here anyway. Lots of yelling, not fun. And
Fair enough.
Tabby sort of ditched. I don't know where she went. I think she went to bed. Oh well. Anyway, today we have a few topics. We will be talking about the legalization of marijuana, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, the benefits and the, I guess, cons of marijuana, and what effect it could have on society as a whole. Our thoughts on it.
Boy, heavy subject.
Yeah. And then later on we won't be talking about a game as such, more so a game developer or a company. It will be Telltale Games and why they may be shutting down very soon. Alrighty, so on the topic of legalization of marijuana, it's been talked about
here we go.
recently.
It started off hard, holy crap.
Yeah, no, we're going straight into it. Recently, especially in Australian news, there's been a lot of talk about legalizing marijuana. There's actually been clinical trials recently, I believe in Tamworth, and it's even legal to grow your own marijuana, not to dry it and smoke it, in Canberra. So, let's face it, all of our politicians are potheads. That's a fact.
Probably very true, honestly.
Yep. Fun fact, I'm actually eligible.
I mean, Pauline Anson, she's got to be off her head.
She's fucked. She's gone. She's been gone.
She's the one selling the pot.
Yeah. She's in cahoots with Lucky B.
Oof. Fun fact, I'm actually eligible for medicinal marijuana trials because, and getting into it is, the medicinal trials of marijuana aren't so much based about marijuana with a high THC content, which is the chemical in it that makes you get the real high feeling, like you might hallucinate a little bit, or you get a real it's hard to explain a marijuana high, but you get really heavy and it's hard to move, and that's the THC. The CBD, however, is a very strong and natural antipsychotic, and that's what they want to use in the medicinal marijuana trials. So that would help towards having a better antipsychotic for people who have something like psychosis, schizophrenia, even can help bipolar, severe depression, because it really calms you down and it works as an antipsychotic, which is a great thing. What are your views on that?
Do you have anything, Liam?
Okay, listen, I have a very weird opinion because I'm possibly the most straight edge. I'm possibly the most straight edge, clean person this side of Sydney, honestly. I'm probably the most clean edge person out of my group of friends. I don't drink, don't smoke, don't do any illicit drugs whatsoever because I'm a boring person with a boring life, apparently. At least that's what Riley tells me.
And he's not wrong.
But I don't see any issues with marijuana, especially Canada just recently legalized it a few months back or so.
It's also legalized for not just medicinal but recreational use in LA.
Yep, exactly. Well, there's a lot of states in America that have it legal, I believe.
But LA's the big one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's also not just the drug culture or the weed culture there, but they've also got like drug tourism, where people actually travel to LA just to legally get on marijuana, like for the whole time they're there, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. Like you get more travelers there, and they're all really high. You know, you could end up with really high people doing dumb shit, or you could end up with more
But that can be
tourism, more
anywhere,
money in
though.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they should just make it legal because if people are going to get it if they want it anyway. And what better than to let the government tax it? That's
exactly.
what I think.
Yeah. And I think one thing that I constantly hear, less so recently, but I did hear it for a while. People were saying, "Oh, it's too hard to tax marijuana," and to them I say, "Go fuck yourself. You're a dumb cunt." If you
I
can
could train Jesse Strader.
if you could tax tobacco, which is a plant grown in mass, you can tax the shit out of that, and they do. So why wouldn't you be able to tax marijuana, which is also a plant, which would be grown in mass with licenses, and it would go through the same strict, if not stricter, policies than tobacco. So like the tax thing is just not a thing. It's just idiots thinking that no, this is a good reason why not.
Yeah, the government should just tax the potheads, to be honest. That's what I think.
Listen, if they're going to pay for it, then I think it benefits everybody.
Just use them as money farms. They're gonna want to get it.
Well, one thing
is
that it's been proven that prohibition does not work, because people will create a black market and they will get it through shadier ways. You'll end up with high prison population for crimes that really don't matter that
non-violent crimes.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to pay for that. The government has to pay for that.
Yeah,
exactly. It ends up
and
why
not reverse it?
This is less so with marijuana, but like more with other illicit drugs, you know, like LSD or whatever. You know, there's going to be like, you know, different chemical compounds that are going to be more dangerous to people's health, more likely to kill them. And so, you know, like actually, you know, distributed, I guess, legally, government-wise, I think it's a lot better for the health of people.
Yeah, for sure.
I think, if you look at, I believe it was, I can't remember where it was. Let me just double check. There was a country that removed prohibition on all drugs.
Okay, that's a bit insane.
That's a bit too much. That's a bit too much.
But the thing was that
probably some third world country.
No, actually, it was a.
By the way, have you ever heard of a second world country like that? You never hear that. It's either first world or third world. It's not second world. What's the classification?
I believe while I was traveling through Botswana, my dad said that Botswana is basically a second world country. The only thing that they had, that, like, you know, they had a working economy, they were low in corruption, they were a really good country, except for the fact that they had a raging AIDS epidemic. Raging AIDS epidemic. Like, I didn't get out of the car. I was like, no, I'm not.
Nathaniel, that's not how AIDS work.
I don't want to be touched by the AIDS monkeys, man.
Okay, boy.
Really fucking racist.
Okay.
So I can't find.
We're already talking about legalization marijuana. We've already dug a big hole.
No, so I can't remember what country it was, and I can't find it on the fly, but I will leave it in the description. But this country, they didn't so much legalize drugs. They made it not illegal to have small quantities on you, and the usage of them, like the possession of small quantities, was legal, and the usage was completely illegal. However, if you were found taking them, you were, instead of being arrested and charged, you were prescribed mandatory attendance at a rehabilitation center.
Okay, that's interesting.
So they took all of the funding from the police work and the prisons, like they were spending so much money trying to detain these people and take them off the street. They spent the money providing clean needles, getting rid of, like, you know, stuff that spread disease, and they provided more rehabilitation.
Mm.
And it worked. Like,
Mm.
I will find the videos and put them in the description, but it worked really well. And the thing is, once you do that, you take, like, and when you legalize, say, weed, you take a lot of money from the big cartels, and taking money from the big cartels is going to stop them doing business there or raise their
Mm.
prices, and people will stop buying, and it
And
puts the cartels out of business.
it's gonna help lower crime overall, I think.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because there's no longer
Yeah.
turf wars, especially in America. Like, there's no longer turf wars over, yeah, I'm going to sell my shit on this corner, and if you come near it, I'm going to shoot you. So there's not, like...
America honestly funds so much shit. Like, for like the war on drugs is like a
Yeah, well, see,
massive
that's one thing. Like,
money sink.
I think Australia has it a lot better than America because we're not so much, having a major war on drugs. Like, we do have more of it in Queensland, especially because there are, major,
Byron Bay, boys.
yeah, you've got the major drug rings, like I believe the triads, I can't remember which bikie gang, but there's a big
Shit, I
bikie
really
gang.
did not know much about all that.
Yeah, no, I spend a lot of time looking into it, like being the pingest.
Hey Riley, aren't you going to Byron Bay for schoolies?
Oh yeah, we're planning
Literally drug capital of Australia.
Yep.
I'm not even joking.
Well,
Yep.
I get a first-hand experience then.
But the thing is that Australia doesn't really pose it as a, drug war. They're like, this is just our efforts to stop drugs from being on the streets. And instead, America, they pose it as this is a war on drugs. If you are a drug, if you deal drugs, then you are the worst criminal ever. Like, you're equal to a murderer. Like,
to be honest, there's more going around. It's larger scale too, so they can kind of, it's a lot different.
One thing I learned while I was growing up, and especially in my teenage years, I was like, I'd seen my mum go through addiction, and I was like, where the fuck did she get it? And then through primary school, I didn't really know much about it. Like, it wasn't really a thing around me. But when I hit high school, you sort of meet one person, and you're like, where do you get it? And then he's like, half the people they're doing it. They just don't go around.
Yeah, very true.
And
that was
like,
my year especially. Oh god.
Yeah.
So many people were drug dealers. It wasn't even funny.
Jesus Christ.
But, just take a look at fucking at JonTron's drug PSA video. Just take a look at how hard America, tries to stop drugs. It's ridiculous. Like those, it's obviously those drugs are those ads are funny to make fun of. Obviously, Michael Jordan, McDonald's.
Stop it. Get some help.
But that's seriously that was their mentality, and that's still their mentality today. To be honest,
yeah,
it's
I think they've just smartened up to know that that's cringy and it doesn't work, and so they've stopped doing that sort of stuff. And now they've got the. I think in Australia, the worst one we had was the stoner sloth ones.
Stoner sloth.
Did you guys ever see them?
No,
I've never heard of that.
They were ads on TV, where I don't know if it was Australia specific, but it was definitely in Australia. I saw it a few times, where basically they have like a normal life situation, like they're eating dinner, and the daughter says, "Oh, can you pass the salt, Billy?" And then it turns to Billy, and he's just a sloth, and he's like reaching really slow, and it's like, this is what weed makes you. Don't be a stoner sloth. It's like,
did you realize that? Did you
okay.
Listen,
Fuck you.
I used to be
the sloth.
I used to be an absolute pothead. But I maintained a job. I never was late for rent. I maintained a relatively healthy weight and relatively unhealthy exercise regime. Basically, I starved myself. So
that's one thing I do.
Yeah, I still do it. But I maintained a working life, and so it's not as bad as they make it out to be.
There is a whole myth around being a stoner, and then you just sit at home on the couch all the time.
Your brain goes to absolute mush. That
could be true in some cases, but that's all generalized.
But see, that's where you have to think about abuse versus use. So,
true, exactly.
Abuse is when you're using the drug to fix a problem that you shouldn't be using the drug for. So if you have like major depression, you should be getting counseling, and you use a small amount of very high CBD marijuana would help. Like I've got friends who have severe anxiety and they have anxiety attacks to the point where they struggle to leave their house, and they use marijuana and it helps them. They probably use it a little too much, but it has helped them and they lead relatively productive lives. It could be better, but it's not as bad as if they didn't have anything at all. And the thing is that sure,
would they be at the point where they wouldn't even leave the house? Is that what you would think?
Yeah, before they were smoking weed.
Are you guys trying to tell me I should start smoking pot? Is this a convention or something?
You just need to get off your fat ass and get out the damn door.
Fuck you, I work, I make a living.
Yeah, fair enough. Recently,
within the past 2 weeks.
And see, one argument there is that you could argue that there's antidepressants and any anxiety meds to deal with that. But the thing is, those meds are developed in pharmaceutical labs and they're not healthy for the body. Whereas
those are very bad. Like I think we have a very close friend. In fact, I've seen her go through
the fucking docs are in the podcast.
We'll blur the name out. Also, we've mentioned all our friends, right? Like we've mentioned Jesse and Alex and all them. I'm just doxing everybody.
I think in this discussion we might have to cut her name out. Just
okay, no, that's fine. No, but I mean we've mentioned Jesse and all that, so I whatever. But okay, well we'll keep this conversation in because it's kind of funny. But just blur the name out or whatever. Audio the name out, whatever. But no, we have a close friend. And I mean we've seen her go through. She had to take a lot of antidepressants and medication and stuff like that. And it's not good for anybody. It really messes with your brain. It's very unhealthy.
It is. And as like I've been on antidepressants before. I think half the teenagers in the world have. It's a very shitty time to live at the moment. You know, I've also been on anti-psych meds, anti-anxiety meds. Like I've been on a lot of different medication. And one thing is that not only did they have harmful impacts on my body, like I started having uncontrollable muscle twitches. I also put on a lot of weight, and that was their main effect. The doctor said, you're going to put on weight, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that really cut me up. And even that had an effect on my mental health, because I looked at my weight, and I was like, I'm putting on so much weight. And, you know, in this world, you know, you're taught, you know, if you don't have a great body, then people aren't going to like you as much. And so that sort of upset me. And like, you know, I try and put those thoughts off, but you know, sometimes it's in the back of your mind, even if you don't really think it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go.
No, I just how much would you say it helped in any way? The, you know, all the antidepressants and anti-anxiety, you know, things you take. Did it help in any way, or was it just the side effects outweigh?
Just as a fun fact, I suffer from schizophrenia, psychosis, and anxiety.
Wow, very fun fact.
Yeah, great fun. But the medication that I was taking, and even funnier fact, the psychosis and schizophrenia were drug induced. Don't overdose on acid. You can't really overdose on it, but you can definitely damage your...
Massive rookie and all the way.
Yeah. That's why I don't particularly agree with LSD, because it's a very life-changing drug, that one. It changes...
God, it's the worst drug in my opinion.
It changes the way you think about the world, and it just made me think about the world in a very bad way. But the medication I took to help with that, it helped for a bit, and it sort of just made everything a bit fuzzier when I was hallucinating, because I get auditory, visual, and tactile hallucinations, and it sort of made everything a bit softer, so, you know, I couldn't really see it as well. But it was still definitely there. But when I started smoking, I did find a friend who grew on his own, and he grew specifically CBD, like high CBD, low THC weed, because he had friends that had schizophrenia and it helped. And I started getting some through him, and I smoked it, and honestly, it helped so much. And then he left. Like I lost contact with him, and I went back into schizophrenic episodes, psychotic attacks, went through the mental asylums a few times, and I'm still recovering. And I feel like the medication they gave me, it made things take a little longer to reach their peak. But eventually, after a few months, everything would build. I'd have a major psychotic episode and just freak out. I might make an attempt on my life, or I would make an idiot of myself by I literally went into the Hungry Jack's in Musbrook once, and Brad's sister can vouch for this because she was the one telling me to get out of the store. I literally lost it at absolutely everyone in the store, and then lit up a smoke in the middle of the store and said, "You can't do anything because you're not real." And I didn't believe anyone else was
What
real.
the fuck?
I think I heard someone told me about this.
Yes.
I think maybe you did. Yeah.
Probably.
At some point.
I ended up in the hospital from that one. Luckily, I had a very good doctor on that day who helped me calm down. It was very, very... One thing you have to remember is not everyone will have the same reaction. Not every doctor will have the same reaction. Some will say, oh, he's on drugs, and just frown upon it. Some people, especially the doctor I had, will see it and say, he's on drugs, he needs help because he's not doing well.
That's probably the best way to take it.
Taking drugs is not something to frown upon. It's something to be compassionate about and say, if they are taking drugs, then they are clearly using that substance to get to...
For a reason.
Yeah, for a reason. See, I ended up... I was taking MDMA for a while, a year or two, likely closer to 2. Before, and it was fine for me because I was able to monitor it. I was able to not go overboard, and I kept my job, and everything was working out fine. And then I started to become addicted to it to the point where I required it to function.
See, when you get to that point, that's
that's an addiction, and that's a problem, and that's when you need help. But I believe in small quantities, most things can be okay. Meth is bad. Heroin is bad. Don't do that.
Yep. LSD is bad, very bad.
LSD is very mixed. Some people...
Okay.
Well, the thing is...
Sure.
LSD, some people will say, it changed my life for the better, and then other people, like me, will say, it changed my life for the worst. So
at that point, I just don't think it's worth taking.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly don't feel like it's worth the gamble.
Everyone reacts differently to it. Everyone reacts differently to different things, and it's just not worth it.
Exactly. And when you mess around with substances that mess around with your brain chemistry, everyone will react differently because everyone has a different brain. Everyone thinks differently. We are each our own person. We each have different views on the world, and the substances could mess with that. But
definitely.
So overall, what are your views on legalization of marijuana?
Okay,
and I'll just say medicinal.
Wait, turn your phone off.
So first of all, what are your views on medicinal marijuana? So more so high CBD, low THC.
Medicinal purposes, I'm pretty sure most people share this very basic sentiment. Obviously, for medicinal purposes, it should be legalized everywhere. It's a very useful drug for medical purposes. There's literally no downside to it at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I would assume you agree with that as well, Riley.
Yeah, to the most part. I think we went a bit further than marijuana, though.
Yeah, no, that just happens. You have...
No, yeah. That's the purpose of a podcast, Riley. You talk about one thing.
Yeah, it was good. It was really insightful.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
yeah.
and for recreational purposes is your next question, I assume?
recreational purposes, yes. What are your views on recreational purposes of...
It's fine. Don't abuse the
I would
drug.
say, I would also say it would have to be, I agree with it, but it would have to be heavily monitored so it's not super high
Yep.
THC, which has
Yep.
been known, I should have said this way earlier, the THC has also been known to cause onset of psychosis, and to those who have a pre-genetic disposition for schizophrenia, it can cause schizophrenic episodes. So
Yeah, I think the main people who are like anti, legal marijuana, they like view it as like there's gonna be everywhere they walk, there's gonna be like some stoner, like everyone's gonna be getting stoned all the time.
Yeah,
But
but it's
honestly,
gonna stay the same. Honestly, the
think
people who take it will take it.
very quickly,
Exactly.
I think another major point that I forgot to talk about was people say that marijuana is a gateway drug. It leads you to other drugs
that's
like
a huge
meth. And there were studies done proving that marijuana is, sure, it could be seen as a gateway drug, but
I think anything could be a gateway to anything.
You are
though.
actually more likely to start doing heavier drugs such as MDMA, meth, speed, heroin. You're way more likely if you start smoking tobacco, and you're more likely if you drink, rather than...
Okay, so unpopular opinion time. My opinion about in relation to this marijuana thing. Okay, listen, unpopular opinion. I don't drink, like I said at the start.
I'm drinking at the moment.
I think it's a lot better for people to be stoned out of their minds, not doing anything, for them to be fucking assholes who are drunk.
Yeah, and ruining their living.
Honestly, I don't see, like, I don't know. I don't think that's a bit of a far-fetched thing to say, to be honest.
I don't know. It's an unpopular opinion, but I think alcohol is a worse thing for most people. I think it's a bigger addiction.
It has shitty health effects.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, some people just want to get fucked up. And to that, I say, as long as you're not hurting anyone else, get fucked up.
And
marijuana is not like a...
So that's where I come from. I think alcohol hurts more people when you take it. Marijuana doesn't really hurt anybody else if you take it.
But the thing, maybe like people like when you like people who have like who's like smoke pot, like they're more like it's kind of a lifestyle, like if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But not really like it doesn't define them or anything, but it's like kind of just a thing it's part of them. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like part of their daily routine.
Like alcohol, I guess it is part of people's daily
Absolutely, it is.
Weekend. So my point kind of doesn't go anywhere.
yeah. Sit back down. Sit back down.
Damn. So no, I definitely understand what you're getting at there.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on from that subject, we had a
lighter subject now.
Way lighter subject, although it isn't great for the people who.
It's still pretty bad. There. Still a little depressing.
Yeah. Telltale Games shutting down, maybe.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I got the most. Okay, honestly, it's pretty much confirmed. Like they are shutting down. It's without a doubt they are shutting down. They've dropped 225 employees. They only have like 25 or so people left. And the last project that they're going to be working on is this shitty Netflix Minecraft story mode TV show, which is disgusting.
I played the episode 1 of Minecraft story mode because it came out for free on Android. And it was pretty fun, but
it's fucking Minecraft.
It's Minecraft. There's just so much Minecraft content these days. It's just appealing to a young audience that honestly are going to grow out of it in a few years.
Yeah, it's honestly a shame. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's their money maker, to be honest. All the kids buy it. So
yeah, I get so annoyed though because like that Minecraft, they milked the shit out of that IP. They made 2 seasons. They did like season 1.5. Like they did season 1 of Minecraft story mode, but then they released like another 3 episodes for it. Basically making the season pass null and void because you basically had to buy another season pass. And I don't know, and they got a bunch of YouTubers, and they try to make it all cool and popular. For voice actors, they got a bunch of famous Minecraft YouTubers, which is kind of cool. Like, that's awesome that they're adding in like YouTubers and like spreading that like awareness and that popularity and stuff. But like, Minecraft's just a crappy IP. And like, when you think of Minecraft, you don't think Minecraft should have a
I wouldn't
story.
say it's crappy. I just said it's really oversaturated. I'd say.
Yeah, totally.
Minecraft was definitely a game changer. Ha! Anyway, Minecraft was really a game changer in the mechanics that it introduced. But it's definitely, I think, a little not so much overplayed, but overhyped these days. You know, people look at Minecraft as this, perfect game when there are a lot of issues with it.
To be honest, I think it's dying down in popularity.
I'd be surprised.
Okay, guess what? You know that's true. Guess what? Apparently, it's reached like a new high in sales in like Asia or something. So
really?
It's not dying. It's not dying in popularity.
I think one thing is that in more so Western civilization that I can see, or like Western society that I can see, and especially in our age group, it's definitely died down. But one big thing is India. India is absolutely smashing the whole giving everyone internet access thing. There's just so many people in India that suddenly have internet access, and that's why T-Series is a thing, because it is it is an Indian channel dedicated to Indian viewers, and there's just so many Indians currently, using the internet.
That is true. I mean, it's like India is 1 billion of the population. That's like 1/7 of Earth. So that's crazy.
Shout out to Quran.
Quran. Yeah, let's hope he gets doxed.
So for all of those people in those countries only just recently receiving the internet, they'll see a lot of content based around Minecraft, and they'll say, "Hey, what's this? This looks really fun," and they'll go get it because they haven't played it before.
So they're pretty much like a kid getting the internet for the first time. Like that's
pretty much
country at the moment.
Exactly.
They're going to play Minecraft and they're going to watch T-Series.
They're going to just get overloaded with the internet.
It's literally just what we did when we first got a computer or when we first got internet. We watched PewDiePie and we played Minecraft.
Yeah, that I can contest to that. I did that the exact same thing.
The Indians that are now getting the internet, they're going to watch T-Series and play Minecraft.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's get back on topic. We're not going to have a PewDiePie versus T-Series argument. That could be next week, maybe. Yeah. No, but they've laid off like over 225 employees. A few people left. Just making this dumb TV show for Netflix. And the worst part is because they announced Wolf Among Us Season 2 was going to come out, which is possibly
tragic.
That was like Riley. We've been fans of Telltale since Walking Dead. No, even before Walking Dead Season 1, because we would easily agree that the Walking Dead Season 1 is what made Telltale popular. It created a whole new surge of. It basically defined a genre, and it put Telltale back on the map. Yeah. But we were fans of their games even before that. We played Tales of Monkey Island, Sam and Max, Back to the Future.
Sam and Max was a huge one.
Best.
Like, in primary school. Remember playing Sam and Max in primary school?
I'm gonna be
honest. It was a really fun puzzle game.
I'm going to be honest. It was. I own a lot of Telltale games.
But you've played
I've actually barely played any, except for the Wolf Among Us. Which I believe you gave me a copy of.
Which is the best
when
one.
I had a gaming YouTube channel. Doesn't exist now. Don't try and look it up. And I played it, and I actually really enjoyed The Wolf Among Us.
No hope game help.
Oh, shut up. Good God. Ah! Stop it.
We're going to play some SCP.
Oh, God.
Binding of Isaac.
Oh, Binding of Isaac series. That was actually.
Didn't you play some Elder Scrolls 1 Arena or something?
I was in South Africa. I got the the anthology of the Elder Scrolls.
Oh, yeah,
Now,
yeah.
this was
Yep.
insane, right? It came with every single Elder Scrolls game, all the DLC,
Oh
all
my
the
god.
maps for them,
Oh my god.
for 60
Elder
Australian
Scrolls
dollars.
series playthrough.
I
For
remember when
60
Dylan was
Australian
hyped
dollars.
about
I
that
was like,
coming out.
what the hell? Yeah,
Oh my
60,
God.
that's alright.
That's pretty good though for like 5 games. Yeah.
and all the DLC.
Yeah. That's
It was,
really good
it was
actually.
absolutely
And
top
what?
notch.
How many years ago was that?
Oh,
That was 3 or I would
3
say
or 4.
3
Yeah.
years, 3 or 4
Yeah,
years.
so Skyrim would have been relatively
Yeah.
newer too.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
that's
Skyrim
a
was
pretty
still
good deal back
relatively new.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was an awesome deal.
Yeah.
But back to Telltale games.
Yeah. Wolf.
I played Wolf Among Us. It was a really awesome game, and I loved where they were going with it.
I think it's their best one. Yeah.
And I think all of their games were well received and well liked.
Absolutely.
Um,
Well, except the Walking Dead Michonne, but you know.
yeah.
Yeah, the Walking Dead series has really defined it, though. I think. And
Yeah, absolutely.
that would be season 1 of The Walking Dead was just like it blew me away.
It was
first
crazy.
when I played it, like, and yeah, it was just crazy. And at the time, it was so. Remember how popular it was?
Like every YouTuber was doing an LP of it.
Yeah, it was so popular, and then it just kind of Telltale just kind of died down after they started.
Well,
branching off. Like they had a few
not
gems,
really, but yeah, no. Well, I mean, it was The Walking Dead, it was The Wolf Among Us. Those were 2 very popular. Then they had season 2. They had Tales from the Borderlands was a very good one.
Tales from the Borderlands is great.
Yeah,
it's my personal favorite, but I'm pretty sure Wolf Among Us is a more favorite amongst everybody else.
No, they definitely have the art style for that game down pat.
Yeah, they got the feel of Borderlands packed down.
But
very
they had
well.
like Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones was a very mixed reception. I didn't mind. I didn't hate it as much as everybody else, but it was
shit. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, okay, it was shit. I didn't mind it. I don't know why, but whatever.
It's just like terrible. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like it's just like a carbon copy of the show, and it's just
I agree. I just didn't hate it as much as everybody else.
Maybe because you're a massive Game of Thrones fan,
probably. I'm probably have a big bias.
Right,
Walking Dead Michonne, people hated so much.
I never played that.
I think my big question as not a huge Telltale Games series fans, but I think my big question, like when Liam told me about this, my big question was, why are they shutting down if most of their games were so well received and they're such a well-known developer?
So there have been a few theories that have come out. People, because even though they're shutting down, people are being pretty harsh and criticizing them, which honestly, you got to be fair. Like, it's okay to criticize a company even if they're shutting down. Like, you know,
everyone is deserving of criticism.
Yeah, like for the employees that are like, you know, lost their jobs, you know, obviously, your thoughts go out to them. And if you look at Twitter, so many game companies are like, yeah, no, come on, we'll hire you. Gearbox, Sony, Microsoft, freaking Twitch, everybody is like, yeah, no, we'll find you jobs. Like, they've done it.
That's
The
a good thing
community
about the gaming industry, because they're so vocal about, you know,
it's so
like gaming media, and like it's like a public thing. So it's
really it's definitely been the best thing that's come out of this tragedy. It's like everybody's just showing support for everyone.
I think that's also what makes it so you know, hit and miss when you're trying to get into that industry, because you definitely have to make a mark or be part of something that made a mark to get another job with a bigger company. And so, you know, if you spend 5 years of your life as an indie dev trying to, make something that's a big hit and then move on to a bigger studio, if that's your plan, it can definitely be very hard. And that's why they say it is a very, very tough scene to get into. But then you see things like this and you say, oh, well, why is it, they're all getting offered jobs. It can't be that hard, but it can be, because, you definitely have to be a part of something that has made a mark on the market just to get offered another job. So, I'm honestly very happy that the community is reaching out to them and saying, we'll get you jobs, we're going to help you. Very proud of all the companies stepping out to do that.
It's pretty much every big company freaking Rockstar, Naughty Dog, everybody. It's crazy. But no, back to there's been lots of theories as to why they've basically shutting down and like where all their money is gone, and it's been my number one gripe with Telltale for the past few years. They're making too many games at once. They just they're putting all their eggs in. They have too many baskets. They should. I know you should put all your eggs in one basket, but they've got too many baskets all around the place.
Definitely, like you don't want to. You don't.
They have to split their team.
I remember when I was in year 4 and we used to have the Easter egg hunt, and it was like you didn't want one kid getting like all the eggs, but you didn't want all the kids getting like one egg. It just didn't work. Like you gotta meet in the middle.
Telltale really has been thinning out their numbers to work on so many multiple projects.
Do you ever play Guardians of the Galaxy?
I have not played Guardians of the Galaxy. I hear it's okay.
It's currently, alright. I believe on special on the Humble Bundle in one of their bundles.
I hear it's alright. I hear it's not something amazing, but I hear it's not shit.
If you're interested in Guardians of the Galaxy and Telltale series, you can get the Telltale series Guardians of the Galaxy game on Humble Bundle at the moment for $9 plus a bunch of other games.
Ooh, there you go.
Including Surgeon Simulator Anniversary. You can also get Crazy Taxi. I know that was an old classic that I absolutely loved. But you can get all that for $9. It is limited quantity though, so there is that.
Humble Bundle, always a great deal.
Humble Bundle.
So thank you, Humble Bundle.
Yeah, thank you.
Please give us our check now, please.
Yeah, baby. Links in the referral links in the description.
But
reference bonus.
No, I never played Guardians of the Galaxy, but I hear it's alright. But like back to Telltale shutting down, the reason behind it, that they work on too many projects, but also imagine how much it costs to buy all those IPs. That's probably where their money goes to.
See,
and
I feel like if I were to run a company that was doing all of these, pre-made IPs, like already established IPs, so
very big ones.
Are they actually buying the rights to the IPs?
Well, no. Well, obviously they don't own the IP, but
were they getting the rights, like the game?
Yeah, they were getting the rights. They were absolutely.
I wouldn't do it like that. I would do what Disney did, and make a contract with a developing company,
Sony or whatever,
Sony or some development company, or in their case, they would make a contract with the IP owner to say, all right, we can make this game. All of the income pays for the development of it first, and then we split the profit. This much to you, this much to you, and the profit would definitely be less doing that. But you would be way more
wouldn't be spending
secure.
So much money.
Yeah, you would be absolutely way more secure. And
absolutely.
If you had it written down in the contract that the cost of the game is paid for before you consider what is profit, that would be a way more secure way of doing it. And I imagine they would still be running with their 250 people instead of cutting it down to a tenth of that.
I think the thing that's I'm most disappointed about this whole Telltale thing is that we're not going to see the end to the final season of The Walking Dead. A series that has been going on for 6 years, and we're not going to get the ending.
So what's gonna happen with that? Like
because episode 2 is coming out next week or so. I'm pretty sure.
2 days. It's 2 days.
2 days. There you go. Episode 2 is still obviously coming out. But from what I can tell, 3 and 4 are not coming out, and I don't know what they're going to do about people that brought the season pass because they're only getting half the game.
Are they just going to refund it all?
They have to. They legally have to, obviously.
They will likely offer a game in like they'll offer a game
offer another Telltale game.
Like say, we'll give you this free game instead of getting a refund, or they'll give them a partial refund.
Yeah,
that can happen too. Yeah, partial refund.
But they would definitely
the 2 episodes.
They would very well definitely try and give a game out for free before they would give a partial refund, because no company likes any sort of refund.
So
Yeah.
episode 2, it's just gonna have to end on like a really shitty note. Like I don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's already made, so I can't imagine they're going to change it up just because the
No,
company
they
shut
can't.
down.
Well, how
So,
can they?
we're not gonna get an ending. Like, this series has been 6 years in the making. We're not gonna get the ending too, which is tragic.
They have to at least
that
release
sounds horrible, man.
like
It's
what it
crazy.
would have
I'm
been. They have
almost
to release,
glad.
like,
I'm
Yeah.
almost
some
glad that
something.
I haven't followed it. Otherwise, I would be.
Well, no, I am very disappointed. I am solely. I was very into
You're
this
waiting
series.
for all the episodes to come out.
Yeah, I which I usually do because I played season 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And I played Michonne and all that. But yeah, no, I haven't played episode 1 of the final season yet, and I guess I'm going to play it now, but there's not really any point to.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty.
But honestly, it wasn't like it didn't blow me away the first episode.
Yeah.
But really, I was like, yeah, let's see where this goes because
Yeah.
it has a lot of potential and it's pretty it's a lot better than season 3.
Yeah.
It
Alright,
really
so-
was going places.
Are there any other points we want to make today? Anything we want to have mention about?
I'm
all
just
happy
sad.
where it's, yeah, we're all a bit sad. I definitely will not be happy because I won't be able to watch the ending from YouTubers because I did watch,
Exactly.
I did watch the playthroughs of it and I was like, oh, that is a really cool
Yep.
story. Just not.
And a lot of people watched it through that too. Like
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how a lot of people found out about it.
and it's
Yeah.
the type of game where you can do that too.
Exactly. Perfect game.
Definitely. Alrighty, well that will bring us to the end of this week's E is for Everything podcast. We touch base on the legality and pros and cons of medicinal and a little bit of recreational marijuana and drug use.
Yeah, it's fun.
And talked a bit about prohibition, how it can and can't work. And then we talked about the shutting down of Telltale games and how we are very, very sad for the loss of jobs. And the very sad point that we will not get the final edition of
The Walking Dead.
Just FYI, I love the contrast in the topics here.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's very big contrast. Well, that's
gaming.
the purpose. E is for everything.